Are you familiar with this set of words from your partner? You can't do anything right. Every time I ask you to do something, you always mess it up. As a matter of fact, when I asked you to do this, I knew you were going to mess up. And of course, you didn't disappoint me. I'm currently doing a series where I'm talking about the signs of emotional abuse. And today we're going to be talking about how constant criticism from your partner is actually a sign of emotional abuse. So what is criticism? Criticism essentially is finding fault with something or with someone. And it's essentially when your partner tells you about things about yourself that they don't like, or when you have done certain things to them that they're not happy with. And in every relationship, there will always be those times when your partner points out that you've done something they don't like, or that there are things about yourself that you need to change. But criticism can quickly go from being constructive to destructive, and destructive criticism is emotional abuse. And today I'm going to be trying to help you find the difference between constructive criticism and destructive criticism, which I already said is emotional abuse. So the first difference you'll notice is that in the case of constructive criticism, your partner is trying to build you up. Your partner is trying to make you better. So their intention when they are pointing out something that you're not doing properly, or when they are pointing out certain things about your character that you need to change, is that they are trying to make you a better person. Someone, on the other hand, who is trying to be emotionally abusive, is trying to pull you down. It's trying to attack your self-worth. It's trying to make you feel bad about yourself. And so you usually hear it in the way that they say, in the way that they criticize. So I remember there was this colleague of mine who was my friend. One day came to me and was like, sure, I think you're putting on, a lot of weight, and I think you need to watch out, and do something about it. Now, the way he said it, was clear to me that he was not trying to put me down. It was not like trying to make me feel fat and, and obese or something. But he wanted me to begin to do something about it. And at the time, I didn't realize I was putting on weight, right? Now, for me, I took that as constructive criticism. Someone who is trying to, pull you down, on the other hand, will probably say something like, oh my goodness, you're just too fat. That's why you're always rolling around. You're too lazy. That's why you're so big, and all of that. I'm sure all of your clothes don't fit you anymore. That person who is saying things like that is not trying to make you better. It's not trying to help you to work on yourself. And I'm sure it must have been a difficult thing for him to say to me, but perhaps he felt that he needed to help me to watch out. And it really helped me because I began to exercise, okay? But someone who is emotionally abusive will always come with the intention of putting you down, not to help you reform. And they will not include the advice will not come, or the criticism will not come with ways that you can solve the problem or with ways that you can do better. It will always just be so completely negative, okay? Another difference that you will notice is that someone who is being emotionally abusive, their criticism will be constant. It will be constant criticism. They'll be criticizing all the time, and they'll be criticizing everything about you. So they'll find fault in all your actions. So they'll criticize the way you dress. They will say they don't like that haircut, or they don't like the way you made your hair today. They don't like the food you eat. They don't like your hobbies. You have a hobby of some sort, and then they're just like, and everybody has such a dumb hobby. They don't like your hobbies. They don't like your interests. And if you don't like something that they like, then they're going to criticize you for it. I mean, they're always finding faults about everything that you do. Your partner should not be always making you feel like you're at fault for everything. They should not always be trying to point out how incompetent you are, or they should not always make you feel like you're not good enough. And the truth about it is that no matter how hard you try to be perfect, no matter how hard you try to meet up with their unreasonable standards, you're always going to fall short. If it's an abusive person, you're never going to make it. You're never going to meet up with the high standards that they set. And another thing they always do is that they always set double standard. So for them, certain things are permitted. For you, they are not. Someone who is constantly criticizing you is being emotionally abusive towards you. Your partner should be building you, not tearing you down. So another difference you will notice is that someone who is being emotionally abusive does not care about how you feel. And so the way that they put forward their criticism is always, they just say, it's just always rash. They just say whatever thoughts come to their mind. There's no thought to the way they are putting forward their criticism. So I remember I have another friend who told me that, my arms were, I think he said that I needed to start exercising my arms because I had a tendency to have big arms. Now, there was a way he said it that was sort of, I don't know how to put it, that was sort of thoughtful. He was not trying to make me feel bad about my arms. He was just pointing out that I needed to exercise a little more, okay? Like the previous friend. So, and the way he put it forward, you know that he was being thoughtful about the way he was saying it. So someone who is emotionally abusive, on the other hand, would have said that in a different way. They would have probably said, your arms are just flabby. Why don't you do something about it? Very soon, your arms won't be able to fit into your clothes because they're just getting so big and all of that. There's a way that they will say it without any kind of thoughtfulness. And now I'm not saying that your partner is always going to be able to construct their words in that way. There are times when they may say things that are inappropriate. But you will notice that when you point it out to them and say, oh, I don't like the way you spoke about, that issue. They will apologize. So they will accept responsibility for it and then try to explain what they really meant, and then try to say it in a more constructive way. Someone who is being emotionally abusive, on the other hand, will dismiss your feelings and will say, well, it's not my fault that you can't take honesty. I was just being honest. The truth is the truth. I can't sugarcoat the truth. Take it or leave it. There's a way that they will just be dismissive of how you feel about what they have said. And your partner should care about how you feel. Someone who claims to know you should care about how their words affect you. The fourth difference that you'll notice is that someone who is being emotionally abusive will attack you instead of focusing on the situation at hand. So instead of saying, oh, I don't think the way you did this was right, they will attack your person. So let me think of an example. Let's say you went to the grocery store and your partner asked you to park the car and they went out to get something. When they come back, someone who is being, constructive in their criticism will probably say, oh, I think you should have parked here instead. It will have been easier for me to get the things in. Someone who is being emotionally abusive, on the other hand, will go straight at you and say things like, didn't you think, about the right place to park? Do I need to give you instructions all the time? Do I need to tell you everything that you need to do? Can't you use your mind once in a while? And all of that. What they have done is take the issue away from being about parking to about how you are just not able to carry out anything right. And then maybe sometimes you even begin to talk about how last week, that was how you were also incompetent. That's how last week you also didn't do things right and all of that. That's going overboard. And that is something that an emotionally abusive person will do to you. They will always attack you. They will leave whatever issue it is and completely begin to attack your person. And your partner should not be doing that to you. Then the fifth thing is that your partner will always blow things out of proportion. Someone who is being emotionally abusive will always amplify your faults. They get joy in amplifying your faults. So let's say you made dinner and you put a little too much salt. Instead of saying something like, oh, I think you put a little too much salt, they'll go on about how you can't cook at all, how every meal that you make is always a mess, how you can't cook to save your life, how 2 weeks ago that was how you made a rubbish meal, blah, blah, blah. They exaggerate your flaws or exaggerate your faults, and your partner should not be exaggerating your faults. Instead, they should be compensating for it, or at least trying to help you get better, not amplifying it, not making you feel like you are the worst person on earth. Because the truth is, regardless of who you are, you're not the worst person on earth. You're not as bad, as they paint you out to be. And if you're watching this, I want you to know that if your partner is always criticizing you, and you are in a place where you feel you're completely incompetent, please know that you're not the worst person on earth. You're not as bad as they say. You see, the problem with constant criticism is that it attacks your self-esteem, your self-worth. It gets to a point where even when they're not around, their words are still playing in your mind, and so it affects the way you do things generally. Even in your place of work, it will begin to affect your performance because their voice will be ringing in your head that, oh, you can't do anything right, you can't, and you begin to shrink back from tasks that you can ordinarily do. And so you begin to say no when there are opportunities for you to prove yourself at work or in any gathering or anywhere you are. You just begin to shrink because, you have that voice constantly negating all your efforts. Your partner should not be making you feel that way. So if you are in an emotionally abusive relationship, you are experiencing constant criticism with all the things that I have described. My advice to you is that you should leave them. Leave them because the partner should be building you up. I mean, there's no a book in which your partner pulling you down is cool. There's no excuse for it. Okay, so please, I know you are probably making an excuse in your mind. Oh, they were just angry. Oh, they were in a bad mood. They had a bad day. Regardless of what it is, your partner should not always be trying to pull you down, to amplify your faults, to make you feel like you're incompetent. Your partner should not be doing that. So I would say leave them because I know getting an abusive person to change is a lot of work, all right? And especially because they will not even accept responsibility when they're, being abusive towards you. So your partner is always criticizing you. You can talk to them, but they're not changing. Please leave. The reason you want to leave is because you love yourself and because you know that you deserve better, than what they are giving to you. Now, constant criticism is not the only sign that you're being emotionally abused. There are so many, many, many other signs. And I'm currently doing a playlist on the signs of emotional abuse. So if you've not watched the other videos, please watch them. You're going to learn something. Because emotional abuse is very difficult to spot. You can be in an emotionally abusive relationship for years and not realize what is going on. Okay? So please watch all the other videos and please hit the like button on this video. It's going to make me smile. I'm sure you want to make me smile, right? Oh my goodness, I have no idea what I'm talking about. But please hit the like button. It also helps the video to get, more views. And yeah, please write in the comment section. I'd like to read your comments. Some of the criticism that you have got. If you are willing to share, please share them in your comment section. Some of the criticism that you've gotten from your partner. And please hit the subscribe button. The reason you want to hit the subscribe button is because you don't want to miss the other signs of emotional abuse, because I'm still going to be churning out on more signs. There are so many of them. so many signs. Because it's so dear to me. Because I experienced emotional abuse and I want as many people as possible to know what is really going on with their relationship, because it can be hard. It can be hard to put a name to all of these things happening to you. I wish you all the best in your relationship. See you in the next one. Bye.